Hey, happy Wednesday. Wednesday evening, and we're just past the third quarter moon. So our moon is in Aquarius, sun in Taurus, and they're forming that 90-degree quarter. Um, it's a time of adjustment. It's a time of reassessing, reflecting on what we experienced at the full moon in how it related to our intentions of the new moon that started in Aries, which to me feels like an awfully long time ago. But that Aries new moon energy was about our instinctual identity, that I am essence, and that outward energy, Aries vitality, Aries motivation, drive, outward declaration energy of who I am in a new way, a new cycle. And our full moon was in the sign of Scorpio, which may have illuminated the shadows for you, may have helped you see ways in which you hold or don't hold your power, wield or don't wield your power, ways you use or manipulate with your power or with withholding it. Scorpio energy is deeply emotional and is often associated with the shadows, with the behind the scenes and the secretive or the private experiences. So it's not always a manipulative or nefarious hiding, but sometimes it's just very private Scorpio energy. And so the full moon may have reflected to you, how do you keep parts of your identity, your sense of self, that I am energy, how do you keep them private or hidden? And how is it that you're using that energy or showing up in your life and letting yourself be seen and known? These are big questions. They're really big questions. And they've been really big questions with all of the planets in Aries moving through. So at the same time, most of this lunar cycle, we've had Mercury retrograde in Aries, having us reflect and look inward on who am I? What is it I want? How is it I'm expressing myself? Chiron in Aries has been, Mercury's met up with Chiron now 3 times, or the third meeting is coming up. So a lot of healing around what we find in ourselves of who we are. And that healing might just feel like a greater self-acceptance or a greater sense of the right to be who we are uniquely and individually. Or it might be a greater grace with yourself in all the ways you show up, all the facets of your identity and your personality. It can also feel like a really tender time around these questions of who am I and what do I want at this point in my life. Other big energy in the sky, Monday, Venus changed signs. Venus, the planet of love and relationship and values and what we are attracted to, what we appreciate, moved into her home sign of Taurus. So Venus and the sun and Jupiter and Uranus are all in Taurus now. And this Taurus energy can feel really grounding, can feel pleasurable and a slower kind of savoring type feeling. And Venus in Taurus often feels really good, really grounding and solid, and helps us appreciate the beauty around us, the love and the connection in our lives, all those kind of rich Venus themes. Tuesday, Mars changed signs, moved out of Pisces, where it had just met up with Neptune, that gave us this kind of dreamy, foggy, where's my motivation? How am I acting? What is it I need to be doing? Questions of Mars. In Pisces already had that kind of feel to it, but then meeting up with planet Neptune, some of that clarity of drive, motivation, activation was missing for people, or felt like their drive was for the spiritual or the creative or the intuitive. And so that mix of the planets can feel like that too, where you might feel more motivated to explore your inner world, your spirituality, your creativity, your intuition. But Tuesday, Mars changed signs and moved into his home sign of Aries. And so now Aries, we have Mars, the ruling planet. We have Chiron and the North Node and Mercury. Oh, and I think that's it in Aries. And so Venus and Mars back in their home signs. I think this is really potent for all of us and really a powerful alignment of energies. Like the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine are at home. They're strengthened in their own signs of the zodiac. They're swimming in their own water. Or maybe not a great analogy for a fire and earth signs, but they're aligned with the energy of the sign they're in, and that makes them more clearly expressed, which can also be felt as more powerful. And so we have that, what feels like a balance to me in the sky. As Venus moved into Taurus, though, she moved into this square relationship, this 90-degree relationship to Pluto in Aquarius. And Pluto in Aquarius is standing still right now. It'll be moving into retrograde motion tomorrow. And so it's really standing still. It's such a slow moving planet that it will really appear to be standing still for quite a while before it gets any real momentum in the other direction. Retrograde outer planets aren't as easy to notice in the collective or aren't as easy to notice within us. They're slower moving. They happen, from 5 to 7, 8, 9 months a year, depending on the planet. Common occurrence. But I think the Pluto retrograde in Aquarius especially can help us transform and break down maybe our mental constructs, our ideologies, not ideologies really, but like the way we organize our thoughts and the way things are in the world, how we diagram the collective, how we believe things are interconnected in kind of a matrix or in a web of interconnection. Pluto, planet of the underworld, is often, like the death planet. It's death and rebirth. It's deep transformation and like peeling away the layers of the way things have been to reveal how things are and how they can be. And that's an energy that is then, it's a collective and intellectual mind, air sign quality. And so these ideas of what are our values? How are we embodying our physical selves, our bodies, Taurus, and the earth, planet Earth? Taurus represents the earth. They're at odds, these beliefs. And so remembering that the square, I talk about the square often, this 90-degree, it's a confrontational energy. Both planets have to kind of agree to like give way so that both planets can express themselves. And so as Venus is squaring Pluto, Pluto is the slower moving planet. It has the stronger effect on the planet moving by. Venus is starting, she's like that first quarter phase of her relationship with Pluto, which began last year, I believe early last year. We had Venus and Pluto beginning a new cycle. Early this year, perhaps. That's not so clear in my head. However, it's a cyclical relationship of Venus to Pluto. So we're starting to see form taking. How is the feminine have a new cycle of empowerment, a new understanding of that Aquarian energy? What are the values that we hold for the collective? These questions are really deep. What are the values I hold personally for the collective at whatever level that means? My local community, state, country values are really up in the news and in the collective psyche. What is it that we believe in and that we value? And where do I stand with this? And I think each of us is being asked on a certain level to really look at that and to explore, discover what values do I hold most dear? Examining the stories and the conditioning that we've grown up with, uh, looking at the state of the world as we can understand it. And can we, from our perspective and the news that we get, can we understand what's going on? Um, but I think Venus in this square conversation with Pluto is a challenge to us, to our value system, to our, values. What do we believe and what do we hold dear in that kind of valuing way? What do I hold dear? And Venus in Taurus, what are my personal values and what's my sense of my own value, my self-worth? And this, I believe, is going through transformation for all of us. Our self-image, yes, that Aries energy of self-image and I am, and who do I declare myself to be? And then the Taurus energy is and how do I value that? How do I show honor and self-respect and care for myself as if I am a valuable human being? So these questions are big and they're personal. And this current astrology is inviting us into those conversations. I often say we're having a conversation with the cosmos. And these are the questions the cosmos is asking of us. In the lunar cycle, okay, what's become clear to you? You had these great intentions of what's this new Aries phase? What's this new I am inspiration? First quarter moon starting to come into form, take action in this new way. Full moon, full awareness, uh, maybe seeing more in the shadows through the Scorpio lens of power and privacy and secrecy. How are things interconnected and committed? And now this third quarter phase is asking us to make adjustments to how we're creating and building on our intentions based on what's been revealed to us, what we're learning, what we're feeling into on a deeper level. So this week holds a lot of new energy, the new direction of Mercury. Mercury turned direct last week on Thursday, and then Monday, Venus changed signs into Taurus. Tuesday, Mars moved into Aries. Tomorrow, Pluto's turning retrograde. So there's some shifting going on in the cosmos this last week. And we're getting further into Taurus season. The sun is approaching Uranus and then Jupiter. Those two planets met up a little over a week ago. So there's some new energy, but I think it holds some of that calming, grounded Taurus energy. And I think one of the best ways we can work with these challenging energies and the new parts of the energy and the cycles is to ground ourselves through our bodies and our senses, to tune into what's pleasurable, what's comfortable, what is life affirming. Taurus energy feels life affirming to me. Like, yes, there's beauty, there's new growth on the trees, there are flowers blooming, there's, warming here in Northern California. There's, time. I lost my train of thought, but enjoying time with our friends and families and being outside more, and just enjoying the pleasures available to us at this time can be simple, can be sharing a favorite new song with a friend. I had a friend share a beautiful song with me this morning. And it was like, oh, right, new music, new beauty through new musical talent. Enjoying different foods as the season changes, like what can be delicious and pleasurable in your life now. And tapping into that will help set us up for the Taurus New Moon, which takes place on May 7th. And so this last week of the lunar cycle is a time for that adjustment and that completing energy, and then also just a letting go. that as we approach the new moon, as the moon wanes and is a sliver in the sky, we're letting go of the light, we're letting go and being with what has been created and what is. And I think Taurus energy really calls us into the presence. How can we be in our bodies, attuned with our senses, and really present? I'll be talking next week about that new moon in Taurus energy. But I also want to invite you to join us for the Stars and Cards conversation on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific. We meet for 90 minutes over Zoom. And our Patreon community is growing and is a really deep, sharing, open community. We discuss the current energies and make connections to what's going on in our lives and experience visualizations or activities that help us drop into the energy of the current astrology. And finding those conversations and discoveries really enriching for me and really helping me deepen my practice of partnering with the planets, conversing with the cosmos, all these things. And Eiley, my partner in that, brings her incredible intuitive wisdom and her ability to read the tarot and offers us tarot wisdom that goes along with the astrology that we're talking about. And so we invite you to come as our guest for your first experience of Stars and Cards. And if you've been before, we encourage you to join our Patreon community and attend the twice monthly gatherings or watch the recordings if you can't make it live. And we also share other content in between the calls in the Patreon community. I will include the link below to join us for that. And in any case, wish you well in this third quarter moon phase and with these new astrological energies at play. And wish you all the best. Enjoy life through your senses. Go see what's beautiful out there. Listen to what's stirring your heart. Taste the good foods. Feel the softness and the textures around you. And have a great week. Bye.